All right, guys, this is the SST end of the year webinar. It is 9 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. Just a few housekeeping things. If you have a question, go ahead and type it in the chat bar and I will read it out to everyone. Also, this is being recorded, so anybody that misses it or comes in late, or anyone that needs to see this, you can view it on YouTube. We will be putting it up there within the next couple days. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. What we're going to cover today, we're actually going to cover who should be doing the end of year process. And it should be, if you're on this webinar, and most likely it's you, preparation for the end of year process and the steps for the end of year process. So that's all that we're going to cover today. It should take probably 45 minutes to an hour to go over this, depending on questions. All right, so who should actually be completing this? And it should be your district level users. And I know that there are some districts out there that are really big and want their school people to do it. If you want your school people to do it, it's a little bit more complicated. At the district level, you actually have access to the entire district. So you can change all the schools, all the grades for all the students at one time. You don't have to depend on those schools. So it's actually a little bit easier for those district level users to complete this end of year process instead of the school level users. So here's a couple things that you need to know for preparing for the end of year process. Have a list of retained students available. That way you don't update the grades for those students. These should be able to be obtained from your registrars at different schools. Also, you want to start with the highest grade for your district. So if you have high schools, you're going to start at 12th grade. You're going to make sure all your 12th grade students have been exited. If you are only up to 8th grade, you're going to start with 8th grade students. So just make sure that you're starting at your highest level. Have class lists available for the 15-16 school year so you know who the new teachers will be. If you don't or can't get access to these school lists, don't worry, you can create faux users for each individual grade level. And then it would be up to the school site to actually update those teachers to the correct student at the beginning of the year. So if you need to create those faux teachers, that's the other thing that you would need to do at this point before you can start doing the end of year process. All right, so here are the steps, and we're going to go step by step. This PowerPoint, I will email it out to everyone. You can also download it. If you look on your control list, there's actually a materials little pane and you can download it there, but I will email it out to everyone just in case you're not able to download it from here. And these steps are very, very easy to follow. I tried to make it for every single click so that you could follow along. All right, so step one is to log on to SST, of course, and then click on the searches and then click on bulk edit. Okay, and I'll be showing you how to do this on live after we go over this PowerPoint. Okay. So step two, you're going to start at the highest grade level for your district. So if you have 12th graders, you're going to start at your 12th grade. If you have 8th graders, you're going to start at 8th grade. And what you're doing at this level is you're actually confirming that all students have been exited. So you just want to make sure that they have been exited or ones that are going to be retained are still active in the system. Step three, you're actually going to select the next grade level in your filter. So if you were 12th grade, you're going to go to 11th grade. And the big thing here is you want to make sure that you show all entries. So if you have 100 students showing, but it still only says 10 entries, you want to make sure you change that to 1,000. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're showing all your students there. At the district level, it might also be easier to sort them by school if you want to, okay? So you're going to choose your grade, and it's going to automatically pull up your students down here. Step 4, you're going to check next to the students that you're actually going to change their grade. And it looks like Kim is having some issues with sound. Let's see. I hope no one else is having problems with sound. So let's see here. So if everyone can hear me, I hope. If you can't hear me, then you don't know what you're missing. So Kim, I sent you a little message. Maybe your speakers aren't turned up enough. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to keep going here as long as no one else has any issues that I am aware of. I will type a message to everyone. Okay, so I did type a message to everyone to see if they can hear me. So if everyone could just type a reply that they can hear me, that would be awesome. There's a little chat box it's, okay, good. Yay, people can hear me. So Kim, it's only you. All right, excellent. So I'm going to keep on going here then. All right, so step 4 is to check the checkboxes next to the students that you wish to matriculate up the grades. So you can check next to the individual students. If you wanted to select them all, you just click in this little checkbox up here and it will select them all. Now keep in mind, pay attention to your actual list of the retained students because you don't want to advance those students up a grade. Okay, so once you've checked next to those students, we're going to move on to step 5, which is click the edit button at the bottom right hand part of the page. Okay, so you've clicked next to your students and then you're going to click the edit. And then you're going to change their new grade level and their new school if applicable. So if you're moving from junior high to high school and you are changing schools, that's when you're actually going to want to change the school. If they're staying within the same school, you do not need to select a school. Okay, so if they're moving from 3rd to 4th grade and they're in the exact same school, don't choose a school. Just leave it how it is. Once you've selected the next grade, so as you can see, I've selected here, these are all my 6th graders. They will be moving to 7th grade. The school is not changing. Then you can click Save. You'll get a confirmation window and you just want to click on OK. Like I said, this goes through every single click. And then step 9 is to make sure that you are looking at all of your statuses. So just go through, you've checked your 6th graders, you've moved them up to 7th. You just want to go through your 6th graders again and making sure that you've checked all the statuses over here to make sure that you've gotten everyone, just in case. And then, so after you've done that, you're going to choose the filter for the next grade. So if you did 6th grade, now you're going to go down a grade. It'll be your 5th graders. And then you're going to repeat steps 2 through 8 until all the grades have been changed. And just a reminder, don't move up the students that are being retained. Step 10. So once you've moved up all the grades and all the schools, if you're moving up schools, now you'll need to change the teachers. So this is where if you created those faux teachers, you can apply those faux teachers to these students. So to get to the bulk update teachers / providers, you're going to click on students and then go down to bulk update teachers and providers. You're going to select a school. This is required, so you have to do this by school. So you select a school, then you select the action to update teachers / service providers. You pick the current teacher, and remember that this is going to be if you advanced your 5th grade up to 6th grade, Kevin King is going to be your 5th grade teacher, so your 5th grade class. Okay, you can select an end date, whatever the last day of school is, and then you're going to change them to whoever their 6th grade teacher is going to be. If you don't know it, this is where you would select that faux user. You can change all the students if you need to, or you could pick and choose which go where. So if you know that Kevin's caseload is going to go to Jordan, but only 3 of the students are going to Jordan, and one of them is going to um, Tom, then you can just pick the 3 and then do the 4th one over again. All right, so you'll mark next to the students that you're going to change. And then you'll have to mark the teacher as a referring teacher. And I know the question always comes up for your middle high school teachers, which teacher do you choose as referring? And think of this as like your primary teacher. Yes, they weren't the ones that actually referred the student over to the SST process, but this is actually, we need to have a referring teacher in the system. So think of it as their primary teacher. So you have to do this at least for one of the teachers here, okay? And then you're gonna click submit and then click on OK and repeat until you have all the teachers assigned. So that's how you would move over teachers. If you have your faux teachers, just keep in mind that your school level users will need to go in at the beginning of the year and make those changes from the school level users, or I'm sorry, at the school level, make the changes from the faux teacher and assign those students to the right classes so that they have those students. And also keep in mind that you want to matriculate up the grades those students that were exited or didn't qualify or referred. You still want to move those students up a grade because that information is very useful to a teacher when they come into the beginning of the school and they have those students on their actual caseload. So let's show you what this actually looks like in SST. So here's my homepage here, and we're just going to go through the process again. So we're going to go to searches, and we click on it, and we go to bulk edit. Okay, so now I can look at their statuses. I can sort by school, and you notice I'm logged in as a district level user. First, I'm going to look at the grade, and I'm going to go to my top grade here, which is 12th, and I can see that my students have been exited. This one actually moved, but they are exited. So I'm good with 12th graders. I can go now to my 11th graders, and I have 1. Okay, you guys will have more. It's just my training district. I don't have too many kids in there as of yet. Okay, so here's my 11th graders. If I needed to sort by school, I could. I can also look at the different statuses. So this is pre-SST, SST in progress, referred, referral processed, all those different statuses. So you just want to make sure that you're grabbing all of them. Even though it says all, you still want to make sure and go through everything, every single status before you move on to the next grade. So I'm going to click next to this 11th grader, and I'm going to say edit. And I'm going to change their grade from 11th to 12th grade. Their school is going to stay exactly the same. I'm not changing their school. And I'm going to say save. It's going to say, are you sure you want to do this? And I'm going to say, yep, I am sure. All right, there's my 11th grader. Students have been updated. I'm just going to go through and check all my statuses just to make sure I didn't miss anyone. You never know. Exited, DNQs, assessment declined, and if you use the student data review team, you just want to check all those. All right, so it looks like we're good to go. We can then move on to our 10th graders. Here's 10th grade, and I'm going to switch this to all, and it looks like there's a couple of them here. And this one didn't qualify, but we still want to move them up to the grade. So we're going to click next to the 2. If you didn't want to click next to both of them, you can click on this box up here. It does select them all. And again, we select edit. And instead of 12th grade, we're going to move them up to 11th grade because we're moving 10th to 11th. They're going to stay at the same school, so we don't have to select a school, and we can say save. Are you sure? Yes. So now if you needed to select a school, let's go down to, let's say, 8th graders. So these are all my middle school kiddos. I'm going to move these up to 9th grade. And I can sort by school if I need to. I only have 3 schools. So then we're going to click Edit. And instead of 8th grade, they're going to 9th grade. And if I need to select a school, I can select Dallas High School. And then say Save. Are you sure? And then confirm these selected. And then at this point, you will have to select another primary service provider. So if you're changing schools, you will have to select that primary service provider or that referring teacher. So you can mark whoever is that going to be. If you don't know, this is where you would choose that faux user, which is why you need to create those before you actually start this process. So we can say, yep, I know they're all going to Anne, and say okay, and we're done. All right, so that's how you move those students up the grades, sorry. And then to update teachers, you're going to go to Students, Bulk Update Teachers and Providers. And like I said, you're going to have to pick a school. So we can go to Dallas High School here, and it looks like we have all those students. And then Action Required, we're going to update teachers and service providers. And we're going to find all the ones that say Dallas High School teacher, or even all the ones that say Ann. Okay, and it narrows it down even further. Select an end date as of June 12th, and you'll be doing this in the past. And then select our faux teacher, which is our Dallas High School teacher, and select a start date of July, maybe July 13th. Okay, you're going to mark all the ones that you want to actually move over. So if it's only these 3, you can mark just those 3. You can check in the checkbox up here to select them all. We're only going to move over 3. And then we're also going to mark this teacher as the referring teacher. Now, look what happens if you don't. You can say submit. It says, oh, wait, you have to mark one as a referring teacher because this Ann teacher is a referring teacher. So you say, okay, and then go back here to your checkbox and mark teacher as referring teacher. Now you can say submit. And it says, all right, the update has been completed. So now if we needed to do the rest of Ann's caseload, we just go back to Dallas High School, update teachers. We can change from Ann, and you notice I still have 2 of them here, so I can select them, put an end date as of the 12th, and these 2 are going to Mark, start date as of July, and Mark is referring teacher, and say submit. And that's it. And that's how you would update your teachers and move those students up the grades. All right. Was there any questions? Because that went pretty fast, actually. We're kind of reaching the end here of our presentation. So if there's any questions, please feel free to ask them. All right. And Carrie, no problem. I will send you that PowerPoint. Oh, and just a reminder, we will be at the conference next week. So if you guys are attending the conference, make sure you come and check out the SST session there because we will be going over those 504 forms that are going to be released after the conference. We have a little sneak peek at the conference of what they're going to look like, how it's going to function, all that kind of stuff. And I know everybody has wanted those 504 forms. And don't worry, we will be sending out the PowerPoint to everybody. And yes, it is the PowerPoint that I will be emailing you, the one that I went over. All right, so one question came from Kathy. Can we bulk upload from our SIS at the beginning of the year to change grades and teachers? Kathy, at this point, there's no way to do that as of right now. I know we are working on a way to actually make that happen. We're hoping to have it done by the beginning of the year, but there's no promises. We want to make sure that it works correctly and we don't want to break anything. So we are working on that, but as of right now, no. And then Karen, when the middle school district and high school district are separate, how does the middle school know what high school site is to refer the student to? And that's where you really have to have communication between your middle school and your high school district. And so for those students, you will actually have to, if you have a SELPA level person, I think they'd be able to move those students over. If you don't, then the middle school would actually have to exit those students, and the high school would have to request all those students be moved in. We are working on a way to make this easier for next year, but as of right now, the 504 forms is what we really were working on this year. So that took priority over fixing this end of year process, but next year it should be easier. And hopefully we can solve the problem of going from a middle school district to a high school district. All right, so I will be, like I said, emailing this PowerPoint out to everybody. So you will have access to the PowerPoint. I'll be emailing it in Acrobat form or Adobe Acrobat form, PDF form. So it's easy to access and print out, and you can have it for when you actually do this. A couple things that I do recommend for grade changes is if you're doing your grade changes, what I used to do, I used to work in a SELPA and I used to manually update grades in SACE, is I would actually have a piece of paper and I would mark down the grades that I've actually completed. So I would list them all from 12th to kinder or even preschool. Um, and so I'd mark all those grades down on a piece of paper, and every time that I finished one, I would cross it out. And that way, if I got interrupted by a phone call, because, we never always have like 30 minutes without getting interrupted. So if you need to get interrupted or leave your desk, you can actually see where you left off. So once you finish that 11th grade, you check off your 11th grade. And then once you finish your 10th grade, you check off the 10th grade. All right, was there any other questions? I will stay on the line till about 9:30. So if there are questions, feel free to type them in. But as of right now, we are done. And like I said, I will be emailing out this PowerPoint so everyone will have the step-by-step instructions. We have information in the manual about bulk updating teachers. So if that needs to happen, you can look in the manual, but I have included it on this PowerPoint as well. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for attending. It was awesome doing this webinar with you, and I'll be on until about 9:30 in case anyone has any questions.